Have you ever stood up and felt weaker than yesterday, but couldn't explain why? No pain, no fall, just a quiet sense that your body isn't what it used to be. For millions over 60, muscle loss creeps in silently. And while we often blame age, the truth hides in the foods we trust most. What if the toast you love, the juice you sip, or the quick snack you reach for is slowly robbing your strength? In this video, we reveal 7 everyday foods that quietly destroy muscle after 60, so you can take back your power before it slips away. It doesn't hurt. That's the strange part. You didn't fall. You didn't strain anything. But when you reached down to pick something up today, your legs felt hesitant, slower, like they weren't responding the way they used to. Maybe you blamed it on the weather, or thought you just slept wrong. But this feeling has been creeping in for weeks now, maybe even months. And only now are you starting to notice a quiet heaviness, a soft tremble where there used to be steadiness. You pause just for a second, wondering, when did this get harder? This is how it begins for so many people. Not with a bang, but with a whisper. A gradual shift that's easy to miss because it doesn't announce itself. No swelling, no bruising, just the slow unraveling of something you once took for granted, your strength. Most people think aging works like a light switch. You're strong until one day you're not. But the truth is, it's more like sand slipping through your fingers. A little bit every day. After the age of 50, your body starts to lose muscle mass naturally. It's called sarcopenia, and it affects nearly every older adult to some degree. But just because it's common doesn't mean it's harmless. This slow, invisible loss of muscle impacts everything. Your balance, your energy, even your confidence to move through the world. You might find yourself grabbing the handrail when you didn't need to before. Sitting down with a little more care. Lifting groceries feels heavier, even though the bags haven't changed. That small adjustment your body makes, the one you barely notice, is its quiet way of coping. It's trying to adapt to the strength that's no longer there. But here's what most people don't realize. It's not just age doing this. Yes, the body changes with time, but the foods you eat, the habits you keep, the small choices you make each day, they play a bigger role than you think. In fact, some of the most common things in your kitchen right now may be speeding this process along without you even knowing it. They don't come with warning labels. They don't scream danger. Some even wear the disguise of being healthy. But inside your body, they're quietly working against you, stripping away muscle, fueling inflammation, and robbing you of the nutrients your body needs to stay strong. If you've noticed your steps growing slower, your hands feeling weaker, your days ending more tired than they used to, don't ignore that whisper. Your body is speaking to you, and the good news is, it's not too late to respond. In the next chapters, we'll uncover 7 everyday foods that may be silently stealing your strength, not to scare you, but to empower you, because you deserve to know what's really happening beneath the surface and what you can do to take back control one bite at a time. The morning feels familiar. You wake up, stretch, walk into the kitchen, and reach for the same loaf you've trusted for years. White bread, soft, warm, comforting. Maybe you toast a few slices, spread on a little butter or jam, and pair it with your coffee. It feels like home. It feels like routine. But while your hands are moving through something simple and safe, your body is reacting in ways you can't see. Deep inside, that bread is setting off a quiet chain reaction, one that chips away at your strength with every bite. Refined white bread doesn't look dangerous. It doesn't taste dangerous. But it's what's missing that makes it so harmful. During processing, the grain's outer layers, rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals, are stripped away. What's left behind is a soft, starchy shell, quick to digest, and faster to spike your blood sugar. Your body treats it almost like pure sugar, even though it doesn't taste sweet. And when that sugar hits your bloodstream, your body scrambles to respond. Insulin surges. Your cells panic. The system floods. Over time, this constant spike and crash pattern builds chronic inflammation, a silent fire that smolders inside your tissues. And muscles don't thrive in flames. Inflammation is like rust on metal. It weakens your muscle fibers slowly and steadily, making them less responsive, more prone to fatigue, and slower to recover. Even worse, high insulin levels interfere with the way your body processes protein. So even if you're eating enough eggs, chicken, or beans, your muscles might not be absorbing those nutrients properly. It's like trying to water a garden with a blocked hose. What your muscles need can't get through. And all the while, that refined flour is feeding something else. Body fat. Fat that creeps in around your waist, your hips, your organs, adding extra strain to a frame already losing strength. And then there are the joints. As your muscles weaken, your joints are forced to compensate. Knees ache more. Hips become stiff. Getting up from a chair feels harder. You chalk it up to age, but the truth might be sitting right there on your plate. You don't need to fear bread, but you do need to choose wisely. Whole grain options, like rye, oats, or sprouted bread, keep the fiber and nutrients intact. They stabilize your blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and support better muscle repair. Even small shifts in your daily meals can make a difference. Swapping white toast for whole grain may seem simple, but it sends your body a different message. I'm still fighting for strength. Because every meal is more than just food. It's information. It's instruction. And if you listen closely, you'll start to feel the difference. The lift that doesn't strain. The walk that feels steady again. The quiet strength returning, one smarter choice at a time. It looks harmless. A tall glass of orange juice resting beside your plate, catching the morning light. Maybe it's part of your breakfast ritual. Fresh, clean, bright. A symbol of health, of starting the day right. You've been told for decades that it's packed with vitamin C, good for your immune system, good for your heart, so you sip it without a second thought. But inside your body, that sweet golden liquid is moving fast, and what it leaves behind is not strength, but strain. The trouble with juice isn't what's in it, it's what's not. When fruit is squeezed into liquid, the fiber is left behind. That fiber, the part you chew, is nature's way of slowing things down. It protects your body from absorbing sugar too quickly. Without it, your bloodstream is hit with a surge of fructose, a natural sugar that acts very differently once it's on its own. In seconds, your blood sugar spikes. Your pancreas scrambles to pump out insulin. And then, just as quickly, it all crashes. That crash isn't just a drop in energy. It's a message to your muscles that fuel is unstable. Your body, sensing chaos, starts breaking down muscle proteins to compensate. Over time, that pattern, spike, crash, breakdown, chips away at your strength. What's worse, fructose is processed mostly in the liver. And when the liver is overwhelmed by too much sugar, it begins turning it into fat. That fat doesn't just sit under your skin. It gathers around your organs, your muscles, even in your bloodstream, adding weight, increasing inflammation, and making it harder for your muscles to function. There's another problem. Fructose doesn't send signals of fullness. When you drink juice, your brain doesn't register that you've just consumed the sugar equivalent of 3 or 4 oranges. You feel satisfied for a moment, then hungry again, leading you back to the kitchen, reaching for something else. It becomes a loop, more sugar, more insulin, more strain. And your muscles? They're left in the middle of that cycle, trying to survive in a body that's too busy managing sugar to focus on strength. You don't need to give up the taste of fruit, but there are better ways to enjoy it. Whole fruits, chewed slowly, with their fiber intact, nourish your body instead of flooding it. Smoothies made with blended fruits, vegetables, and a little protein provide a gentler option, something your muscles can work with. Even a glass of water with lemon offers the brightness without the cost. What we drink matters just as much as what we eat, especially as we age, because every choice you make either supports your strength or quietly chips away at it. And sometimes the most familiar comforts, the ones we trust the most, are the very things holding us back from feeling strong, steady, and truly alive. It's quick. It's easy. A few slices of ham layered on a sandwich, a couple pieces of bacon crisped in a pan, maybe some salami folded onto a cracker, or a cold-cut turkey slice pulled from the fridge for a fast snack. These are the go-to staples for many older adults who want something simple, something with protein. You were told protein is essential for muscle strength, and that's true. But not all protein is equal. And some of it comes with a price your body quietly pays over time. Processed meats seem like a smart shortcut. No cooking, no mess, no effort. But inside every slice is a complex mixture of additives, preservatives, and hidden damage. The pink color that makes these meats look fresh, that comes from nitrites and nitrates, chemicals used to extend shelf life and preserve appearance. But once inside your body, those same substances can transform into compounds that fuel oxidative stress. That means your cells, especially your muscle cells, are exposed to unstable molecules that break them down, not build them up. That's not where it ends. Processed meats are also full of saturated fats and often trans fats, which clog your arteries, restrict blood flow, and choke the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your muscles. And when your muscles don't get what they need, they shrink. They tire faster. They recover slower. You might feel it when your legs burn more on stairs than they used to, or when your arms shake slightly after carrying groceries. These aren't just signs of age. They're signs of starvation at a cellular level. And then there's the sodium. These meats are soaked in salt. Not the kind you sprinkle for taste, but industrial levels meant to preserve. That sodium draws water out of your tissues, dehydrating your muscles quietly but consistently. Dehydrated muscles don't contract properly. They cramp, they stiffen, they fatigue faster. You may not realize why you're so thirsty after a sandwich, or why your legs feel heavy afterward, but the connection is there every single time. You might think, but at least I'm getting protein, right? The truth is, the quality of that protein is often poor. These meats are often blended with fillers, starches, and flavor agents that dilute the nutritional value. They look like meat. They taste like meat. But they don't feed your body the way real, whole protein does. You don't need to ban meat from your life, but swap the shortcut for something honest. Roast a piece of chicken, boil some eggs, grill a fillet of salmon. These foods are rich in complete amino acids without the baggage of chemical preservatives. If you want plant-based options, lentils, beans, and nuts offer powerful protein with the added benefit of fiber and minerals. The goal isn't to fear food, it's to understand it, because when you know what's quietly weakening your body, you're one step closer to protecting it. Strength isn't just about lifting something heavy, it's about choosing what helps you stay upright, energized, and free to move through your day. On your terms. It sounds impossible. Spinach, the poster child for health, the leafy green stacked with iron and calcium, the one you toss into smoothies or layer into salads with pride. How could that possibly be hurting you? From childhood cartoons to modern health blogs, spinach has always been painted as the food of strength. And in many ways, it is. But like many things in nutrition, The truth isn't just in what a food gives you, it's also in what it takes away. You reach for a handful of fresh spinach, rinse it, throw it into a smoothie or salad. It feels clean, it feels smart. But hidden inside those dark green leaves is a compound called oxalic acid, a naturally occurring substance found in many plants. It's not toxic in small amounts, and it's not something to fear. But spinach contains it in very high concentrations. And when eaten raw, it can quietly interfere with the very minerals your muscles depend on. Oxalic acid binds to calcium and magnesium in your digestive system. It locks them up, making them unavailable for absorption. So even if your plate looks rich in nutrients, your body may be getting far less than you think. Over time, this mineral depletion takes a toll. Muscles begin to cramp more often. Recovery slows. That feeling of fatigue after even a short walk, it may have less to do with aging than with what's been happening quietly inside your gut. These minerals aren't optional. Calcium supports proper muscle contraction and bone stability. Magnesium plays a role in over 300 enzyme reactions in your body, including those that regulate energy and muscle performance. Without them, your strength begins to erode, slowly and silently. And there's more. Oxalates from raw spinach can build up in the body, especially in the kidneys. For some people, particularly older adults, this leads to the formation of kidney stones, a painful condition that further stresses the system responsible for regulating your body's mineral balance. And when the kidneys are under pressure, your entire muscular system feels it. You don't have to give up spinach, but you do need to know how to eat it. Cooking spinach, steaming, boiling, or sautéing can reduce its oxalate content by up to 40%, making the nutrients far more available to your body. Draining the cooking water removes even more of the compound. And rotating your greens, adding in arugula, romaine, kale, or butter lettuce, prevents buildup and gives your body a broader mix of nutrients. Pairing spinach with calcium-rich foods like almonds, sesame seeds, or tofu can help offset the binding effects. And if you love green smoothies, try alternating with lower oxalate greens like Swiss chard or bok choy. Healthy eating isn't about sticking to rules, it's about understanding how foods work together or against each other. Spinach is powerful, but power, when used without care, can backfire. Know your body, know your food, and choose the kind of strength that builds, not the kind that quietly breaks down. It starts your day. That first sip of warmth, the aroma rising through the steam, the way your body leans into the comfort of routine. For many, coffee isn't just a beverage. It's a ritual, a moment of quiet, a signal to begin. And it's easy to believe it helps. After all, it lifts the fog, sharpens the mind, brings a bit of energy where there was none. But what coffee gives in alertness, it can quietly steal in strength, especially when your body is aging and your muscles are already fighting to hold on. Caffeine is a powerful stimulant, and in moderation, it can offer real benefits. It increases focus, supports metabolism, and even contains antioxidants. But when consumed in excess, especially by older adults, it starts to take more than it gives. The first cost is subtle: dehydration. Coffee acts as a diuretic, increasing the amount of fluid your body loses. With that fluid goes precious electrolytes, especially magnesium and calcium, two of the minerals most essential for muscle health. When these minerals are depleted, muscles cramp more easily. You may feel it in your calves after a walk, in your hands when you grip something, or in the way your body tires faster than it used to. Over time, this mild, repeated dehydration doesn't just affect comfort, it affects function. Your muscles don't fire properly, they recover slower, they become more prone to injury. Then there's the hormonal impact. Caffeine stimulates the release of cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol helps you stay alert in times of threat, but it also tells your body to break down muscle tissue for quick energy that might have helped our ancestors escape danger. But in today's world, it simply means your body is eating away at its own reserves every time it feels pressured, tired, or overstimulated. For older adults whose bodies are already losing muscle naturally, elevated cortisol becomes a hidden accelerant. And if coffee is your companion throughout the day, cup after cup, often on an empty stomach, it keeps that hormone elevated, keeping your body in a low-level fight-or-flight state. You may not feel anxious, you may not feel stressed, but your body does. And what about sleep? Deep restorative sleep is when your muscles repair, rebuild, and grow. But caffeine can linger in the system for up to 8 hours, reducing the quality of your deep sleep, even if you fall asleep without issue. Less deep sleep means less muscle recovery, less growth hormone, less strength over time. This doesn't mean you have to give up coffee, but timing and quantity matter. One small cup in the morning, after breakfast, allows you to enjoy the benefits without the cost. Avoiding caffeine in the afternoon and evening protects your sleep and recovery. And if you crave something warm later in the day, herbal teas or low-caffeine options like rooibos or chamomile can provide comfort without the consequences. Every sip carries a choice, not just for your energy, but for your strength. And when your body is working to hold on to every ounce of power it has left, those choices matter more than ever. It's in everything. The crackers you snack on, the canned soup you heat up for lunch, the slice of cheese you layer onto your sandwich. Salt is a silent staple, hidden in the labels, tucked inside the convenience of modern food. You don't see it, you don't taste it as much as you used to, but day by day, gram by gram, it builds. And while your taste buds grow numb to it, your muscles do not. They respond in silence, tightening, cramping, and slowly stiffening under its weight. Sodium is essential to life. Your body needs it to maintain fluid balance, transmit nerve signals, and support muscle contractions. But like so many things, too much becomes a burden. And in the Western diet, especially among packaged and processed foods, too much is the norm. The average adult consumes double the recommended amount of sodium every single day. And for older adults whose kidneys may no longer regulate minerals as efficiently, that excess creates a subtle storm. High sodium pulls water from your cells. It doesn't just make you thirsty, it dehydrates you on a cellular level. And muscles, more than any other tissue, rely on hydration to function smoothly. Without enough fluid, muscle fibers become rigid. They contract poorly, they fatigue quickly. You might feel it as a strange tightness in your legs after a short walk, or a stiffness in your hands that makes jars harder to open. You may not realize it, but that's your body working against a deficit it didn't choose. And it doesn't end with muscle function. Dehydrated muscles heal slower, increasing your risk of strain, injury, and loss of mobility. Add to that the joint stress that comes with weakened muscles, and suddenly even basic tasks, standing, reaching, bending, begin to feel like labor. Then there's blood pressure. Sodium raises it, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. High blood pressure puts added stress on your arteries, making it harder for blood to deliver oxygen and nutrients where they're needed. Your muscles, already struggling to retain hydration, now receive less of the fuel they depend on to stay strong. It's like watering a garden through a pinched hose. What little gets through isn't enough. And the worst part? You often don't know it's happening. The damage isn't loud. It doesn't shout. It builds in silence, over weeks, over months. Until one day, you notice your gait has changed. Your hands feel slower. Your body feels older than it should. But salt isn't your enemy. Excess is. You don't need to live blandly. You just need to become aware. Read labels. Cook more at home. Swap canned goods for fresh or low-sodium versions. Use herbs, lemon, garlic, and spices to bring food to life without flooding it in sodium. Your muscles don't ask for much. Just water, minerals, and the chance to move freely. Give them that, and they'll return the favor, keeping you moving with grace, confidence, and strength well into the years ahead. It's a clever switch. You skip the sugar. You choose diet. The label says 0 calories, 0 guilt, and for a moment it feels like control. In your coffee, your yogurt, your soft drinks, it's the easy compromise, all the flavor, none of the downside. But what if the trade-off you made isn't protecting your health, but quietly undermining it? Artificial sweeteners may not raise your blood sugar like table sugar, but they're not neutral. Inside your body, they set off a cascade of confusion, and for muscles already trying to hold on, that confusion becomes a threat. Your body is a delicate system, finely tuned over decades. It doesn't just respond to food, it anticipates it. When something sweet hits your tongue, your brain expects fuel. It signals your pancreas to prepare insulin, anticipating a rise in blood sugar that never comes. Over time, this mismatch trains your body to respond poorly. It's like crying wolf again and again. Eventually, your insulin response dulls. Your metabolic rhythm gets thrown off balance. And that matters deeply to your muscles. Insulin isn't just about blood sugar. It's a messenger, telling your cells to absorb nutrients, to grow, to recover. When your body becomes resistant to those signals, protein can't reach your muscles as effectively. Even if you're eating right and moving regularly, recovery slows, growth weakens, fatigue lingers longer than it should, your muscles become like a locked door and the key no longer fits. Artificial sweeteners also affect your gut. The microbiome, the trillions of bacteria in your digestive system, is crucial for immune function, nutrient absorption, and even muscle metabolism. Studies show that sweeteners like sucralose and aspartame can disrupt this delicate ecosystem. When the gut suffers, the rest of the body follows. Nutrients don't get processed correctly. Inflammation rises, and your body starts to treat food less like fuel and more like a mystery it can't quite solve. Then there's appetite. Sweeteners don't bring satiety. They don't satisfy. You drink the diet soda, but hunger doesn't subside. In fact, it often returns stronger. The brain, having tasted something sweet, searches for the calories it expected, and when it doesn't find them, it pushes you to eat again. The result? Overeating, cravings, and more frustration. You may feel like you're doing everything right, watching your sugar, counting your steps, but your body feels tired, unmotivated, stuck. None of this means you need to live without sweetness, but your body knows real from artificial. A small amount of raw honey, a few pieces of fruit, even a modest sprinkle of real sugar. These trigger responses your body understands. They move through your system honestly, without the shadow of deception. Your muscles don't just need fuel, they need clarity, consistency, signals that match outcomes. And when your body is no longer confused, it can return to what it does best, repairing, rebuilding, and supporting your life from the inside out. Because the strength you need tomorrow starts with the truth you give your body today. You think you're eating enough. A sandwich at lunch, maybe a bit of soup for dinner, a snack here and there. It feels like plenty. You're not hungry all the time, and the scale hasn't changed much. But something in your body tells a different story. You notice it in the way you rise from a chair, slower than before. You feel it in your arms as they tire from carrying groceries. You're eating, but your muscles are still fading. Quietly, steadily, they're being starved of what they need most: protein. After 60, your body's relationship with protein changes. You don't just need it to maintain what you have. You need more of it to hold on to strength at all. Your digestive system becomes less efficient at breaking it down. Your muscles become less responsive to the signals that once told them to grow. What used to be enough no longer is. And the problem is, many older adults don't realize they're falling short. Protein isn't just for athletes or bodybuilders. It's the building block of muscle repair, of movement, of balance. of stability. Without enough of it, your body begins to catabolize, breaking down its own muscle tissue for energy and function. And this doesn't happen in a dramatic flash. It happens over months, over years. You start needing more help getting out of bed. Stairs become harder. Falls happen more easily. And behind it all is a diet that didn't provide what your muscles needed to survive. It's not just the amount of protein, it's the quality. A slice of processed ham or a spoonful of low-fat yogurt isn't enough. Your body needs complete proteins, rich in the full spectrum of amino acids. Foods like eggs, fish, poultry, beans, lentils, and dairy. These aren't luxuries, they're essentials. Especially at breakfast, when many older adults default to toast and coffee, missing a key opportunity to fuel their body after a night of fasting. And it's not just about eating it, it's about pairing it. Your body absorbs protein better when it's eaten alongside healthy fats and fiber. A piece of grilled salmon with steamed vegetables, a bowl of Greek yogurt with berries and nuts, a scrambled egg with avocado on whole grain toast. These combinations do more than feed you. They activate your body's repair systems. When you skip protein, your body doesn't pause the aging process. It accelerates it. Bones become brittle. Muscles waste. Fat replaces strength. And every movement becomes a little less confident. But the fix is simple and powerful. Add just one more serving of quality protein to your day. Make breakfast count. Choose foods that speak your body's language, because no matter your age, your muscles are still listening, still responding, still capable of rebuilding with the right support. Strength isn't just about lifting weights, it starts with what's on your plate. Give your body what it needs, and it will return the favor in every step you take. You remember the headlines, the warnings on cereal boxes, the magazine covers, the doctors on television. Fat was the enemy. For decades, you were told to fear it, to buy low-fat everything, to avoid butter, nuts, oils, full-fat dairy, and you listened because you cared about your heart, your weight, your health. But now, years later, something doesn't feel right. You're lighter, maybe, but not stronger. Your energy dips more often. Your muscles don't bounce back like they used to. The truth is, in the pursuit of being healthy, many were led into a quiet trap, the myth of low-fat living. Fat isn't just fuel. It's a critical nutrient, especially as you age. Certain fats, like omega-3s and monounsaturated fats, play a direct role in reducing inflammation, supporting hormonal balance, and delivering fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K to the tissues that need them. And among those tissues, your muscles, your joints, your brain. When you strip fat from your diet, you don't just lose calories, you lose support systems. Without enough healthy fat, your body struggles to absorb the very nutrients it needs to stay strong. Vitamin D, for example, is essential for muscle performance and bone strength. But without dietary fat, it can't be absorbed effectively. The result? A body full of effort, but starving for the tools it needs to recover and rebuild. And then there's the hormonal effect. Fats help regulate testosterone and estrogen, both of which play key roles in maintaining muscle mass as we age. Low-fat diets may lower cholesterol, yes, but they can also disrupt hormonal signals. For older adults, this means slower recovery, reduced muscle density, and a higher risk of fatigue and imbalance. You may not see it on a chart, but you feel it when you get out of bed and your legs hesitate. What's more, low-fat products often replace fat with sugar or starch to maintain flavor. So while you believe you're making a healthy choice, you're actually feeding inflammation, spiking blood sugar, and depriving your muscles of the nutrients they crave. It's a silent swap, real nutrition traded for false comfort. It's time to shift that thinking. Fat is not the villain. The right fats, found in avocados, olive oil, fatty fish, nuts, and seeds, are your allies. They soothe inflammation, protect your joints, support your brain, and provide a steady source of energy for your muscles. Even saturated fats, in moderation and from whole sources like eggs or full-fat yogurt, have a place in a balanced, muscle-supportive diet. You don't need to drown your food in oil or butter, but you do need to stop fearing fat. Your body is built to use it, to thrive on it. And in the later decades of life, where every movement matters, it's not just about avoiding disease, it's about feeding strength. Let go of the old rules. Eat with intention. Give your body back the nutrients it's quietly missed. Because sometimes, to move forward, you have to undo what you were once told and trust what your body has been trying to say all along. You eat your meals, you watch your portions, maybe you've even started cutting back on sugar or choosing more whole foods. It feels like you're doing everything right, but something's missing, not in your plate necessarily, but in your body. A kind of tiredness that rests in your bones, muscles that don't bounce back, bruises that take longer to heal, a slow fade in recovery, strength, and energy that doesn't quite match your effort. The truth is, you might not be missing calories. You might be missing micronutrients, the invisible tools your body depends on to repair, protect, and rebuild. Vitamins and minerals don't get much attention. They're the fine print on labels, the small numbers most people skip over. But they are the scaffolding of strength. Without them, even the best diet can fall short. And for older adults, the risk of deficiency rises sharply. Appetite shifts, digestion slows, absorption decreases. The body becomes more selective, more fragile even, in what it can take in and use. One of the most important micronutrients for muscle health is magnesium. It regulates nerve function, helps muscles contract and relax properly, and plays a role in energy metabolism. Without enough magnesium, muscles cramp, tremble, and tire easily. You might feel it as stiffness after a walk, or soreness that lingers longer than it should. Then there's vitamin D, a hormone-like vitamin essential for muscle strength and coordination. It also works hand in hand with calcium to protect your bones. But low levels are incredibly common, especially in older adults who spend more time indoors or whose skin can't produce vitamin D from sunlight as efficiently as it once did. Deficiency here doesn't just increase the risk of fractures, it reduces the power and balance needed to avoid them in the first place. B vitamins, especially B12, are critical for nerve health and red blood cell production. Without them, fatigue sets in. Coordination falters. You may feel lightheaded, unsteady, or mentally foggy. And potassium, another silent hero, keeps your muscles hydrated and your heart steady. But it can be lost easily through dehydration, certain medications, or even a hot day with too little water. These nutrients don't announce their absence loudly. They don't scream. They whisper. And you feel that whisper in slower mornings, heavier limbs, and movements that used to feel natural now taking just a little more effort. The solution isn't found in pills alone. It starts with a plate full of color and variety. Leafy greens, legumes, nuts, seeds, eggs, and fatty fish. Each brings a unique mix of the minerals and vitamins your body needs. Cooked vegetables often offer more absorbable nutrients than raw. A bit of olive oil can help fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K do their job. Your muscles are not just made of protein, they are shaped and sustained by the invisible foundation of micronutrients. And while you can't always feel them going in, you'll absolutely feel the difference when they're no longer missing. Sometimes the smallest things make the strongest difference. You are not broken. Slower, perhaps. A little more careful when you bend, when you stand, when you lift. But beneath the stiffness, beneath the fatigue and quiet aches, there is still power waiting to be restored. You may feel like your best years of strength are behind you, but your body disagrees. It's still listening, still responding, still capable of growth. The only question is, what are you feeding it? The truth is, your muscles don't stop working just because you've reached a certain age. They slow down when they don't have what they need. When meals are rushed, when nutrients are missing, when water is forgotten, and movement is delayed, your muscles adapt the only way they know how. They shrink, they rest, they give up. But when given the right support, even after decades of neglect, they can come back to life. All throughout this journey, we've uncovered the hidden culprits, foods that looked safe, even healthy, but quietly worked against you. The toast that inflamed you, the juice that spiked you, the meats that poisoned recovery, the raw greens that stole minerals, the coffee that stole sleep, the salt that stiffened movement, the sweeteners that confused your system, the missing protein, the misunderstood fats, the invisible vitamins, each one a thread, slowly pulled from the fabric of your strength. But that thread can be rewoven. It doesn't take a perfect diet. It takes awareness. It takes small, consistent shifts. Whole grains instead of white bread. Real fruit instead of juice. Cooked greens with a bit of olive oil. Lean proteins paired with colorful vegetables. A little more water. A little less salt. A conscious step away from artificial toward the honest flavors of food that still remember how to heal. You don't have to do it all at once. Maybe it starts with breakfast. Maybe it's swapping cold cuts for grilled chicken. Maybe it's adding spinach to your soup, but cooking it this time. Maybe it's drinking water before coffee, or skipping that second cup altogether. Maybe it's adding back the fats you were once told to fear, avocado, salmon, nuts, and watching your energy quietly return. These are not diet tricks. They are acts of care. They are proof that your body is still on your side. Strength doesn't belong to the young. It belongs to the nourished, the supported, the respected. And when you feed your body with intention, you're not just giving it nutrients, you're giving it permission to rise again. So take one step today, just one, and tomorrow another. Not because you're chasing youth, but because you are choosing vitality, your kind, your way. Your muscles are waiting, not for perfection, not for punishment, but for fuel, for kindness, for the quiet message that says, you still belong to yourself, and you still have places to go.